Sometimes in life, we come face to face with an undeniable truth. Whether believe it or not, you know at your core that it is truth. And that truth is, we don't really control anything, period, except ourselves and our responses. I hope that's where you are right now. If you're confused, shaken, or pissed off, that's perfect. Hang in there, baby. The change is here. I'll hold your hand and I'll tell you how. I'm Semaj. This is episode 17. I call it the Mind-Body Connection, Part 3. Let's do this. Welcome to the C Word Podcast. I'm Semaj, and I greet you in the love and the light of the Infinite Creator. Don't let the name fool you. The C, as you will find, is all about you. What we desire to do here is create a conversation around my book, The C Word, and some of the principles behind it, to lead you, the seeker, on a journey. A journey of freedom. Freedom from limiting thoughts, borrowed beliefs, and false perceptions. A journey of self-truth. If you're already on a path, then it's to help bring clarity on the journey. I've walked the path. I can help you identify the walls you've built and the ruts that you're in, and give you some tools to create a new life. I'm a hands-on healer of energy and light, teacher of my own integrative flow technique. I'm a student of the universal law of one, and a certified life coach, helping you to get clear your direction. I'm called father, husband, grandfather, Sifu, and guru. I'm on this journey with you. We are one. My desire is to live this quote, which simply says, "The best teachers are those who show you where to look, but don't tell you what to see." Let's begin. If you're here and you've really started to look at your own mind-body connection, and you've considered this body fountain concept, and you've decided that there is possibly another way of thinking, but have no clue what to do next, join the club. This is called transition. And this will be your state of being for the rest of your life. Or should I say, has been all your life. People often ask, why is life so hard? Change is the answer. The hardness comes from how well one can embrace this change. If change is hard for you, in whatever way, the more you resist, the more it persists. Life will be a constant struggle against something that is constant. Does that make sense? On the other hand, since you know all things are constantly changing, and more importantly, you know that you don't control any of it, it becomes easier to adapt and accept and respond to the changes that come with life. When it comes to this body fountain of yours, that's the one thing you get to control. The only thing, actually. If you've been listening to the podcast, you might remember this equation that I gave you, the E plus R equals O. Event plus response equals outcome. Now, if you look at the outcome of what is your current body fountain, realize that whatever it is that's in your fountain, you have allowed or put it there either consciously or subconsciously. Now, many of you at this time is going to think, if I'm feeling this bad now, it's pretty hopeless. And that's not true. Let me introduce to you for the second time my divine philosophy. Absolutely nothing is anything until you decide it's something. This is a statement of pure truth and hope, depending only upon your current perspective and where you put a comma. Write it out and contemplate, people. It's been written, spoken, and tested. It is a catalyst for change and one of many mind concepts that can cause a person to go from sick to well in virtually an instant. It is one of the first thoughts I have when I meet a new client. It could be a private client who has been referred to me, or one that has just been assigned to me from a spa. Now, when they're filling out their paperwork, clients are asked to mark on an outline of a human body all of the aches, pains, diseases, and diagnoses that they or someone else has decided that they have. I've had clients give me 2 pages of medical notes and a drug list that's become as much as their identity as their last name. When assessing a person's status, I do take things like accidents, broken bones, birth defects, missing parts. I look at all that stuff and take that into consideration. What I don't do is intentionally name or define any of the client's physical symptoms. You see, naming, defining, or applying a diagnosis to physical symptoms has the effect of validating or giving permanency in a person's mind. That's why they say I have, because that's what they've been told. Now, being trained medically but working holistically gives me insight on how to proceed with the healing process. Therefore, using this philosophy to decide what you want to be real in your world, because nothing is anything until you decide it is. Okay, moving on to the next thought. In all the reading that I've done in the Bible, I'm not aware of Jesus healing anyone who didn't come to him wanting to be healed and believing that they could be healed, or someone from a distance could be healed if they just believed. Don't start tripping. I'm not saying I'm him or even as good as him. But if he didn't do it, then I'm not even going to try to do it. The point is, however, you believe you can heal and change is the level of healing and changing you will have. In my experience, people who don't want to be healed or feel better, who don't believe that they can be healed or feel better, won't experience that, no matter who they see. Those are the people that you talk to and they've been And they'll say this: I've been to everybody and nobody can help me. There's a good chance they don't want to be healed. So from the beginning, I start with the business of changing the person's mindset. I let them know that I expect them to be 100% better than when they came in. I will tell you, just like I tell them, that the results of their healing is totally dependent upon their participating in their healing. What I'd like to tell you is that you have started on a new road that could lead to a new life, and not just in physical healing. Some people will say they want to heal, but they don't have the desire inside to change. And I get it. Change is hard. And it's uncomfortable to leave old patterns behind. For some people, they start feeling better, but don't know how to adjust to a new, healthier identity. So they may see me twice, then disappear in a blizzard of excuses. Like, to continue with healing costs more than they are willing to pay, even though it was less than their monthly drug bill. I've heard it cost too much. It was making me think too much. How about this one? If I start getting better, I might lose my disability check. True story. Or my doctor says it's interfering with my medications. And it sounds like Eastern voodoo, probably from Satan. I've heard all of this, people. All I can do is offer what I have and leave them to their own self-denial. I follow the fourth of the four agreements. I don't take it personally. And I pray the seed of hope grows when they leave. Now, for those who are willing to begin the healing journey, my next philosophy on healing, the body fountain, is if a symptom comes from nowhere, it can go back to nowhere. As a healer, I can't afford to decide a client has anything else wrong with them. I have to believe that what they're bringing to me is a symptom or some kind of pain that has a cause. It would be detrimental to my practice and my client if I carried the same belief about their pain as they do. And I'm amazed at the number of people who look at me like I'm crazy when I ask, so what was going on with you at the time this pain started to get your attention? And they'll ask me, what does that matter? The answer is quite simple. If you didn't lift anything, or play cornhole for 5 hours, or fall down the stairs, or any number of other things that could be called trauma, then you didn't injure yourself physically. 9 times out of 10 in my world, this pain came from nowhere. And it's the body giving you a signal that you are mentally, emotionally, or spiritually making your body hurt. And you have probably even chosen where the pain will be. I know, sounds crazy, right? Like I said in the beginning, you may or may not believe this truth. Your choice. The most profound book on mind and body connection was given to me in the early 80s by a fellow body worker who had come to see me. The name of the book, write this down, is Heal Your Body, The Mental Cause for Physical Illness and the Metaphysical Way to Overcome Them. and it's by the late Louise Hay, no S. She had a very real way, a very different way from mine to help people heal themselves metaphysically and holistically. The teachings in her book have been invaluable to me in my journey and my journey as a healer. Reading Heal Your Body made me pay attention to the body as I was speaking to it. Those conversations over all these years and the changes and modalities that I've used have become what I now call the flow system, or integrated flow massage. So when you have a stressor in your life, believe it or not, you have a choice in what to do with it. If you look around at the world that stresses you, you may see, one, that there are others around you addressing the very same stress. Two, some of those people aren't as stressed out as you. And check it out, stress is not an option. We all have it, it's all around us. But how you respond to it is an option. How you perceive your stress plays a huge role in how you respond to it. To help explain, let me share some true examples from real clients and some of the results. I get this one. My son/daughter is graduating from high school. Think about this statement for a moment. As simple as it sounds, it has been the cause of pain for countless mothers I've seen in my practice. Some people would simply be proud of their child for working through all the stuff they had to work through to reach this point of graduating from high school. But others define this moment as a time to start worrying. Worrying about graduation parties. Worrying about whether or not the kid's going to college. Which college? What job? Losing contact. Growing up. Letting go. These are things that parents ultimately have no control over. If they try, they end up with neck pain, shoulder pain, low back pain, knee pain. Symptoms associated with the need to control things we can't control. There, I've said it. Another C word, control. The one thing we spend so much time trying to get it is the one thing we end up losing, only to realize we never had it. We have this desire to force everything to fit into some self-made structures of our lives when they don't. Not only do we suffer, other people suffer. Controlling husbands damage wives. Controlling parents destroy children. And controlling children, yes, even children, can undo adult relationships. If you're a controller, you're not likely to recognize it on your own. But see if you recognize yourself in any of this. You juggle time, life, and money around like a gajillion bowling balls, and you wonder why your body hurts. Your worry comes with the fear of dropping a ball. The pain comes when you finally do drop one and everything falls with it. Frustrations happen when you expect everyone else to help you pick up the pieces and they don't. Maybe you blame them for not helping you juggle in the first place, because in your mind, and your mind only, they should have known you needed help. Should have read your mind. Right. I know that's kind of painful and kind of dramatic, but seriously, did you get tensed up just reading it or just hearing it? Imagine that kind of pressure every day over a period of years. Of course your body hurts. I could recount hundreds of these examples, and the truth is, not one of them would make a difference in your life. How does change come? It comes when you begin to believe that we become what we think about the most. One more thought process to help keep your fountain clean and flowing. It involves one of the most critical choices that you will have to make in order to maintain a healthy and balanced life. Although thousands of people in caring professions may deal with this in their daily work as well as their personal lives, we all have this choice to make, and you will have to make it for yourself. I call it, you can care, but you cannot carry. I'll say it again. You can care, but you cannot carry. It's a harsh reality, y'all. It is possible to love and care for another person, to be concerned about their situations, to really want something better for them in their lives. But you cannot carry the weight of their situation in your own mind and body. Think about that for a moment. You can love and care without taking on the responsibility for changing the situation or carrying the weight of what feels like an impossible situation. This is especially hard for parents who want to spare their children from any and all pain. I want something better for my child. Only if you can control it. Or for those people who are way too involved in other people's lives, those busybodies. See, the truth is, we all have to learn from difficult situations. The people in your life, those close to you, will experience pain, trouble, difficulty, and unfairness. Your job is to support and encourage, but not to carry and fix. When you choose to take on the role of carrying the life problems of other people, your body feels that weight the same way it would feel if you were carrying around a bag of rocks on your back. And your body feels the same strain and pain. It is the function of the heart to give love and compassion. It's not the function of the body to carry everyone else's problem with you. Hell, you can barely carry your own. If I were a production genius, right here, I would insert a record skip. Well, isn't this interesting? As life does, I've been given a chance to live out what I put out. If you're friends with me on Facebook or follow my MBS balancing page, you may already know where this is going. For those who don't know, for the past year, I've had a dream of creating a place of restoration inside the fence of the property my wife and I purchased last year. For a year, there's been a dream and a vision of manifesting this wonderful place, and it's been manifesting before our very eyes, complete with fountains, hammocks, an adult-sized Zen garden with sand, a swimming pool. We poured a pad for outdoor massages and yoga classes, and it's called Parade Rest, and it was beautiful. Go to Facebook and check it out. Last night, around 10:30 p.m., 98-mile-per-hour winds, a derecha they called it, tore through Parade Rest. The 4-foot rebar supports for my gazebo were bent like a hospital straw. The canopy shredded. The trees, so wonderfully providing shade for people just 5 hours before, turned into leafless branches, most of them ripped from their original bodies and scattered across the 1-acre compound. 2 days of no power, and at the time of writing, no internet, no water, and emptying the sump pump by buckets to keep the basement from flooding. Enough rain came down to top off my pool that held everything that was sitting on the deck. The wind lasted maybe 25 to 30 minutes. The rain for about 4 hours. The night never did end. Looking at the damage, no, the devastation, by flashlight was almost overwhelming because I could only see what the flashlight was focused on. Remember that sentence. I started feeling my fountain plugging up. My back hurt, my feet hurt. That was trauma, I found out later. And I'm going to say this slowly. What follows is an exercise in my practice, my beliefs, and practice is the only way I'm able to tell this story to you in true honesty. Daylight revealed a mess, to say the least. But here's where the practice comes in. I was grateful that my electric stove blew up 2 months ago, and I got my gas range that I dreamed of. With it, I was able to make my coffee, walk to my back deck balcony, look over my property and say these words: Lord, I do give thee thanks for the abundance that is mine. Then I said, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I do that every morning. The first part is for me. The second part, for every person I come in contact with in my day. So there were some feelings. Number one feeling was sadness. I allowed 30 seconds for that one. The second feeling was anger, and that took about 5 minutes. The third feeling, I was a little heartbroken. That one I get repetitively when I read how some people respond to my Facebook posting of the pictures of what happened. Then finally, and still number one, pure fucking gratitude. And I come from knowing that I can choose what I want to control my being at all times, and I practice it. Gratitude that my wife and I didn't get injured. Our house was still standing. Our family members and friends in the area were okay. To date, now we have power. 3,000 more people don't yet. I'm a little ticked that my AC is broken, not working, but hey, I have seen the news. I'll be okay. I hope I didn't bore you with that story. My spirit said that it's for somebody out there listening, so blame them or my spirit. The point here is, don't stop dreaming. Don't stop believing. Don't stop creating your dreams on your terms. And when 98-mile-per-hour winds come and wipe out what you created in the middle of the night, don't focus on the limited flashlight perspective you see. Take a breath. Wait for the light. Get a bigger, clearer picture before you define what you see. Then run through what you say you believe. For me, gratitude for the positive now. The 4 agreements. I can care, but I can't carry. I teach people how to treat me. I get what I think about the most, positive or negative. Flow like water. That's Bruce Lee. Finally, absolutely nothing is anything until I decide it's something. So, take what you will from this podcast. It's for you. And I'd like to start moving into some case studies, probably every 2 weeks unless something urgent pops up. Or even better, I really want to talk to 3 people this week that want to anonymously be on the podcast and talk about whatever comes up, raw and unscripted. If that's you, here's what you do. Send me a direct message to Semaj at agreatnewyou.com in the description. Tell me your schedule and what you want to talk about. And 3 of you, maybe more, could be my next guest. If you want social proof of how I feel about you, this is it. What you'll find is that you matter. And you'll also find out that you're not the only one thinking what you're thinking, and you're not the only one with the questions. And just thinking about this gets me excited. So, as always, I leave you in the love and the light of the infinite Creator. Go forth, therefore, and rejoice. And be the best you can be. In the power and the peace of the infinite Creator. Namaste. Well, that wraps it up for today's episode. I appreciate you all for listening to this podcast. It matters to me. If you'd like to go deeper on any topic, I urge you to use the links in the description of this podcast. There, you can find links to my book, The C Word. You can also find these episodes on my YouTube channel under Semaj Rramal, Man at the Top of the Mountain. Also, we would love to connect with you on a Great New You website. That's www.AGR8NEWYOU.com. A Great New You. There, we offer courses to help you become a great new you, and a blog to keep you connected and informed. Finally, if you feel a personal need to get help moving ahead, I've left 2 more links here for connection calls. I'll have 30-minute connections and 1-hour personal coaching connections available via phone or Zoom. All that to let you know that you don't have to seek out the answers or move forward alone. If you're getting value from this show or have feedback, feel free to reach out to me personally at semaj@agreatnewyou.com or leave us a rating here. Thanks for listening. Namaste.